Hi guys, today I have a really fun project for you, but before we get started on that, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Day of the Dead, or in Spanish, Dia de los Muertos. It is a Mexican celebration that happens on November 1st and 2nd, but it's very important to know that it is not Halloween. Sometimes people get them confused because they happen around the same time, but they have nothing to do with each other than being very close to the same time. If you've seen the movie Coco or the movie Book of Life, both of those movies do a really good job talking about Day of the Dead and what it's all about. But in case you haven't seen them or maybe you forgot, I want to tell you a little bit about that celebration. So what is Day of the Dead for? It's a time for you to remember your family and friends and loved ones who have passed away and to celebrate the life that they had. It is not meant to be a sad time. It's meant to be a happy time because you remember the good things about that person and the times that you got to share with them, and you celebrate those things. It's also not meant to be a scary time. Again, people get Halloween and Day of the Dead confused because Day of the Dead uses skeletons in some of its imagery, but skeletons for Day of the Dead are not meant to be scary. They're just a representation of someone who passed away, which to some people might seem a little weird, but to the people that celebrate it, it's not. During Day of the Dead, families will make altars to honor the people that they love who passed away. On the altars, they'll put things that the person loved, like their favorite foods or maybe their favorite toys or books and things like that, as well as candles and marigold flowers and sugar skulls, which a lot of people really like, even people who don't know what Day of the Dead is. Sugar skulls or calaveras are brightly colored, and they have lots of patterns and designs, and sometimes they'll be made and put on the altars with all of the other things. Sometimes, rather than the altars being set up in a home, they'll be set up in a graveyard and they'll do the celebration there. Again, it's not a sad time, it's a time to celebrate the lives of those people. It's very important to understand the meaning of Day of the Dead because a lot of people, especially in America, get Day of the Dead and Halloween confused and might even combine the two as one thing, which is kind of disrespectful to people that actually take Day of the Dead very seriously as it's part of their culture. So it is important to understand that it's not meant to be scary, it's meant to be a happy time where you celebrate those important people from your lives. So what we're going to be working on today is we're going to be making our own sugar skull drawing. I'm going to show you step by step how to make the shape for the skull, and then you're going to get to decorate it with all sorts of designs and patterns that you like. You could think about someone you love who maybe has passed away, and you could maybe add decorations for things that they loved or maybe things that they represented to you, including the colors and patterns and things like that. So it really is going to be a fun drawing, you guys. You need paper, pencil to start with, and then any coloring supplies that you like to use. And once you have those things, we can get started. All right, so our first step is going to be drawing 2 large circles for the eyes. You want to make sure they're not too close together and not too far apart. And of course, you need a little bit of space on the left and right for like the side of the skull. So let's go just a little bit above the middle of our paper. And let's draw 2 big circles that are about the same size. Perfect. Now you're going to go a little ways over and you are going to draw a straight line, and then once it gets past the bottom of the circle, it's going to bump out like that. That's for the cheekbone. You can do the same on the other side, straight up and down, and once I get just below the circle, it bumps out like that. Something that is important when you do this kind of drawing is to think about symmetry. And symmetry means that both sides are the same. Now, of course, if you're drawing with a marker first like I am, it's not going to be perfectly symmetrical. And even if you draw in pencil and you erase it and try again, you can't always get it perfectly symmetrical. But try your best and your skeleton is going to look a lot more realistic. Now we're going to draw this big curved line for the top of the head. So going just to the left of this line here, I'm going to start off by doing a nice big curved line that goes up, bend over, and I want it to come back down and connect in pretty much the same spot. Just between the two eyes and near the bottom, you're going to draw an upside down heart. You could flip your paper over and draw the heart right side up first, but I'm just gonna start by doing a point like this, and then adding the two curved lines to make it an upside down heart, and that is for the nose. Now let's continue working on the cheeks and jaw area. So we're going to continue with this line we made before, and it's gonna curve down. See how it kind of goes straight across until it gets to like almost the right side of this eye, and then it curves down. Do the same on the other side, straight across and then curve down. Whenever I do one side, I try really hard to match it on the other side as best as I can. Now I'm going to draw this little curved line here that kind of shows the area inside the jaw. So at the bottom of this straight up and down line, and I want you to think that this line is here, so there needs to be space for the teeth. So if it's not long enough, make it a bit longer. You're gonna have a line that just curves up and kind of connects back right by the cheekbone. Do this for both sides. And then we can start working on the teeth. So not at the very bottom here, up a little bit here, I'm gonna make a curved line, just a little curve. And then I'm going to make a straight line going through the top and the bottom. That's this line here. I'm gonna make two more on each side. And notice they get a little shorter each time. I'm going to make a curved line connecting from one line to the next. Same thing on the bottom. Cool, and now we just need to make the bottom of the jaw. So go a little bit over from this curved line we made before, and you're gonna go straight up and down, and then kind of curve, go straight for a little while, and then curve up to go straight up and down, and connect back. And there you have it, a skull. Skulls are not the easiest thing to draw, but when you break it up into little lines and shapes like that, it's not too bad. Now this is the part where you can follow along with me and kind of do the same shapes I do, or you can just have fun adding lots of shapes and designs. Again, think about symmetry, if you have one thing on this side, you're gonna have the same thing on the other. So it should be matching on both sides if you want it to be like a typical sugar skull. But you can think about shapes or lines that might represent someone that you care about who maybe has passed away. Like if someone loved music, you could draw a music note. Or if someone loved a certain type of flower, you could draw that. I'm gonna start in the eyes. So you can either continue watching this right now with me and follow with me, or feel free to just add your designs and kind of go have fun with it. So I'm gonna start in the center of both eyes by drawing a circle, which kind of looks a little scary, but then I'm gonna draw flower petals all around, and each petal is just two curved lines. I like to draw another petal kind of between the ones I just made. You can add dots inside the center of the flowers for texture. One thing a lot of sugar skulls have in common is they'll have a big design on the top of the head, and actually a lot of times it's a flower. So I'm gonna do that. Curved line and some big petals, which are also two curved lines. I'm gonna add a few extra lines and shapes inside the center here. Think about the different kinds of lines you know about. Zigzags or curved lines, wavy lines, dotted lines. Really just kind of do anything that looks interesting to you. I'm gonna also add flowers on the cheeks. And I'm going to add some dots around the eyes. Above and below the teeth, I'm going to add these curved lines. And I'm going to put a heart in the center of the chin this time, with maybe some lines coming out. I think I'm done adding my designs to my skull. I think it looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and color it in. And when I color it, I'm going to remember the idea of symmetry. So whatever I do on one side, I'm going to do on the other. Alright, so I'm all finished coloring in my second sugar skull here. I decided to do this one with markers, and I gotta say, I think I prefer the color pencils I did on this one. But that's okay, that's the fun of trying different materials and seeing which ones you like best. So just take your time on yours. You might add a ton of details and it might take you a while, or you might be done pretty quick. Kind of just depends on what you feel like doing today. But have fun with it, take your time, and again, just think about that symmetry, making things the same on both sides. Alright guys, I hope you had fun making your sugar skull drawings with me today and learning a little bit about Day of the Dead. Again, it's a really important celebration to remember and to understand that it's different from Halloween, and maybe it's something that you'll think about this year as November 1st and 2nd come around. But I will see you guys next time for our next video. Bye!